and for putting up with me. I really do thank you for that. Finally, I'd like to thank also our National Secretary, George Wright, and his incredible staff of 150 workers at campaign headquarters down there in Melbourne for all the work you have done. Thank you, team. My wonderful electoral staff led by Katrina Hicks. Put your hand up, Katrina. And the whole electoral team, including my longest-serving staff member, Fleur Foster, out there in force today. You are a team of champions. Malcolm McMillan, the president of our FEC, Les Henning, its treasurer, all of our branch members in the Griffith FEC, you are marvels. And finally, to each and every member of my family here. They are my life, my hope, my encouragement, my support, and without them, I could have done none of this. With them, it has been possible. To Raise and Marcus, to Nicholas and Zara, I love you all. Jessica and Albert were with us until only half an hour ago. Our bub, our granddaughter Josie, has come down with a fever. They're now off at the local hospital. That's life on the campaign. She would be here in spirit as 14 months old, the youngest young Labor member ever. Friends, you've had a hard day. So let's bring this to a close when I say that throughout our history, we, the Labor Party, have been a party of hard heads and soft hearts. That is the genius of Labor, always attending to the tough questions of the economy and national security, through war and through peace, through depression and recession, but never allowing our hearts to harden to those of our Australian family who are the most vulnerable. It is this combination which is the unique legacy of Labor. This is a great movement, and I salute the movement for its strength, its vitality, and its future. I have been honoured to serve as your Prime Minister and as your party's leader. But there comes a time when you know you've given it your all, and a time for the party to further renew its leadership for the future. For me, that time is now. So I will not be recontesting the leadership of the Parliamentary Labor Party. The Australian people, I believe, deserve a fresh start with our leadership. I know this will not be welcome news to some of you, but my responsibility has been to maintain Labor as a fighting force for the future so that we can unite behind the next leader of our party. I have taken this decision with a heavy heart because I love this party, I love the movement, I love the values for which we stand, I love the vision we have for Australia's future, and I love the hard work of translating that into policies that make our future. Disability care, Medicare, Denticare, the future, better schools, better hospitals. That's us, we do those things. But the time has come for renewal. We've begun the process of party reform, including the process new formed for the election of the leader, so that in the future, our leaders will be elected by a combination of 50% of you, the entire branch membership of our party, and 50% from the parliamentary members. This is the beginning of the democratisation of our party. And I say this to party members right across this vast land of ours, Australia. In the future, we must continue our party's reform, modernisation and democratisation to be the broad church we need to be to fully embrace our future. Let me put it in these terms. We at our best are the party of the little guy. By which I mean this. If you're a person out there who has a disability and you cannot work, then we support you. If you're a person out there who can't find a job, we support you. We support you to find a new job. If you're a person out there in work, we support you having decent work with decent pay and decent conditions. And if you're a little person out there, a young person, someone starting out, the little guy, who decides to branch out and form their own small business and turn it into a medium business and a big business, we're for you as well. We are the party of the little guy. Because it's from the little guys, the forgotten people of Australia, sometimes, that our nation's strength is built for the future. So friends, you won't hear my voice in public affairs of the nation for some time. That is as it should be. So to you, the Australian people, I thank you, one and all, for this opportunity to serve as your 26th Prime Minister of this nation, Australia, one of the greatest countries in the world. I thank you all.
Well, there are some interesting things to observe out of that concession speech by Kevin Rudd. Several things. First of all, I guess that he may yet be a little bit optimistic in declaring that there is no loss of seats in Queensland to Labor. There are 2 seats still in doubt, the seat of Capricornia and the seat of Petrie. Secondly, you've got to wonder about what note that speech struck. It sounded less like a concession. You wouldn't say that it was a victory speech by any means, but was it a speech of valediction, Stephen Smith? Was it a speech where he was justifying his return as leader of the Labor Party and trying to protect some kind of a legacy?
I think it was somewhere between a valedictory and a vindication. In terms of a full valedictory, you've got to look at all of Kevin's period as Prime Minister. And in some respects, part of the judgment on that was the 2010 election. His contribution as Prime Minister, I think, will be the apology, which was, I think, a tremendous national moment, and then some of the work he did in international